Hello, everybody. Oops, it is me, Demitra K, and I am sitting here with Donovan, the recovering Democrat Sadiq, also known as the Black Yule Grinner. Earlier, we had a show, but we were not live. It was our podcast, as we do on Tuesday afternoon, where we chop it up about things, particularly about relationships. Sometimes we deviate from that, but today was about relationships. So if you have not checked that out, please go and check it out after this. So yes, we are live here. Hello, hello, hello. The purpose of the Demitra K Show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community, to make us an even better people with the emphasis on even, because we are great people, but we can always strive to do better. Also like to say a big giant thank you, hello, and welcome to YouTube, X, formerly known as Twitter, and Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation, but not only are you just viewers, you are family, and we sometimes share the link so that you can come up here and voice your opinion, ask a question. All I ask is that if you have nothing pertinent to add to the conversation, please do not click the link. Also ask if I've not seen you up here before and you're going to use a picture in lieu of you. Please show me your face before I bring you up to the big screen so that I can verify that it is you and it is no troll or nonsense or anything like that. So we're going to be talking about a couple of things today. We're going to start, we're going to end talking about the National Urban League State of Black America report, suggesting that we aren't voting like we used to. But of course, you guys know that today is Super Tuesday. Super Tuesday is where 15 states go to the polls, voting on various things like who will be the president on the GOP side, the Democrat side, governor, Senate, House seats that to go forward in November for the final election. So Super Tuesday, states range from California, Arizona, to North Carolina, Texas, and, you know, everything in between. Of course, there will maybe, I don't know, be some upsets. I know California has a pretty interesting Senate race. And so here in Houston, there's an interesting congressional race between that of Sheila Jackson Lee, who is the incumbent, and she is trying to hold on to her seat against that of Amanda Edwards. And Sheila Jackson Lee only has about a 5-point lead. Now, the last time she ran, she had about a 70-point lead where she basically bested her opponent to the tune of 70%. Which is huge, right? So the fact that she is struggling with only leading 5% and doesn't even sound like she's over the 50% threshold says a lot. And a lot of people are tired of the old. And I've heard that not just with Sheila Jackson Lee, but a lot of older congressional or Senate seats. People are just like, yo, you know, let's try to get somebody else in here that's a little bit younger, that was born in this, born before the turn of last century, you know. So it's going to be very interesting. Will Sheila hold on to her seat? I think she probably will, you know, in order to run in November against the GOP candidate, whatever the case is. We'll see about that. But again, it is Super Tuesday. And so Donovan, let me see who's else on here before you give it to you. Trish, how you doing? Thunder, what's going on with you? Life is life. How are you? Mike Nice, what's going on? Troy, hope you're doing well. Anita, how are you? Long time no see. JJ Mars, how are you doing? Says Urban League and the NAACP are both jokes. The Black community, purpose of the white establishment, sparkling for Jesus. How you doing, Mallow Factor? I hope you're having a great day, brother Don. So Donovan, what say you?
Well, I want to say welcome everybody back to the show. You know, you guys are always, we have the same people all the time. And trust me, I am glad to see people that want to sit and discuss different issues that is happening in the United States as well as the African diaspora. 15 states today in the Super Tuesday primaries. It is pretty much apparent that the Democratic Party is a party that is basically fascist, and they're telling you this is who you're going to run. We're not going to give you even an opinion, but they'll demonize the Republican Party for all going behind Trump. But they had primaries. You have opponents. Nikki Haley is still in it, even though she doesn't have a chance in hell. All this other stuff. But yet people will sit there and tell you that the Democratic Party is a party for the people, but yet they can't articulate what the Democratic Party has done. This is the time where it's going to be a snapshot for both of these parties to see where they stand with the grassroots. What's the grassroots? You're the grassroots. The average person. How are you thinking? How are you leaning? Now, we all know from this channel and other channels like Phil Scott, Vicki Dillard, so on, so forth, a whole bunch of new Black media out there, that if the Democrats really wanted to win this next election, all they got to do is put those deposit checks as a starter into our accounts. And we're going to vote for them. But no, they feel they don't have to do absolutely nothing. You're going to vote for them anyway, so everybody else can benefit, because we've been doing that, right? But the numbers are showing things are being different. About this time last year, Demitra, wasn't it the New Black Media and a lot of other outlets that were saying, wow, the Black people aren't going to vote the way they used to. We've already done that. It's going to be happening. And these parties were just ignoring. The Democratic Party was, oh, no, that's a joke. No, I expect Black people to save democracy. They're going to show up and do all of this, right? Totally ignored everything we were saying. And then now you see this blitz for the Black vote. Oh, we got to get the Black man involved. Oh, we got to get the Black woman involved. Oh, we got to do this. We got to do that. We got to do this. You guys, I'm just going to say this. Keep your foot on their necks. Vote your wallet. Vote what you see outside your front door, because that is what matters. Just because somebody has a Black face doesn't mean they're in the right place. Okay? So let's keep up the pressure.
Yes, indeed. So let's go ahead and get into it for the sake of time. So the National Urban League, that was founded in 1911, is also considered one of the big five civil rights organization. Civil rights organization, obviously supposed to fight for the civil rights of disenfranchised people, marginalized people, supposed to be Black people. So I'd imagine the NAACP is a part of that big five of those civil rights organization. Now they were put together. They at the National Urban League to provide assistance to, it says, African Americans to further fighting for economic and social justice. Okay. So every year, I would say since maybe the late 70s, don't quote me, but I think it is, they put together a report called State of Black America. And as I was reading some of the things in the report, I came across something interesting. I'll read to you what the president of the National Urban League, Mark Morial, said. Now, the finding says that Black Americans' significant economic and civil rights progress threatened. That was the gist of the report. And I thought, well, what progress are we talking about here? So he says, doors have been opened in higher education, government, and the private sector in the 60-year period. That's important. Every measure shows progress. Then he also goes on to say, but I would have thought we would have been much further along than we are in 2024 with respect to achieving a sense of parity in America. Now, as I said, I looked deeper into that report. It says the view of Black civic participation is also mixed. While the percentage of Black Americans registered to vote stood at 69% in 2020 compared to 64% in 2000, the percentage of Black people who voted in 2022 stood at 42.3%, a drop from 54% who cast ballots in 2002. So basically, 2022 was people voted to the tune of only 42%, opposed to that of 69% in 2020. So that is a significant drop. And so we are obviously going to the polls now, and we'll be going to the polls in November, voting for a whole host of things, including who will be the next president of the United States. And we know that people in Black America have not been feeling the love within that 60 years of this so-called progress that he says that we have made. And, I'm only 52, so I wasn't here over the span of 60 years. So but I was here, I guess, for a lot of it. And I can say that I really haven't seen any progress specifically to that of Black people. Now, when we say progress specifically to that of Black people, we're talking about us and us only, like the Hispanics, the Asian, I guess whites, and anybody else. I can say that they have specifically seen some progress, and that progress has been brought to them by their politicians, local, state, and on the federal level. Black people cannot say that. Of course, we know that in the 60s, specifically 1964, there was a civil rights bill handed down to us to help us be able to vote more efficiently, I guess, and easier. But that was about it. The only progress that we have seen. And as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, that we cannot have civil rights without human rights. And so I'm not really for sure as to what progress that he's talking about. But then he's saying that it's being threatened. We're threatened by what? As of course we know, the Urban League is hand in hand with the Democratic Party. They also run around and talk about they being the Democrats, that democracy is in danger. Of course, they never really define what that means, but we know that it's in a juxtaposition to that of the the Republican Party. Of course, Trump very well. It looks like he is going to be representing the Republicans as far as the presidential candidates. There's nothing they could do about it. Of course, the Supreme Court yesterday ruled that Colorado has to put him back on the ballot. Colorado and a couple of other states, I think Illinois is one of them, said that they were going to take him off the ballot due to him being an insurrectionist. They tried to use a clause in the Constitution that says basically, and I guess it's a state constitutional thing, that if you are found to be involved in the insurrection, that you should not be able to run for the presidency of the United States. But the Supreme Court unanimously 9-0 came back with a ruling, said that he has to be put on the ballot, citing that the states do not have control over federal processes. So the federal election, the presidential election, happens to be on a national level, which makes it a federal process. So the states cannot arbitrarily take him off the ballot. So, of course, as I said, there's other states that are trying to do the same thing. Of course, that's going to go to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court has now set precedents and that he cannot be taken off the ballot. So to me, it's like a moot point. Like, why even go to the Supreme Court with this nonsense? Because you're going to get the same answer. Of course, that's Trump bringing a case saying, hey, you know, they need to put me back on. So, of course, you guys know that the Supreme Court is made up of 6 Republicans and 3 Democrats. Of course, Trump stacked the court, which he's supposed to do that in his favor of Republicans that would say, hey, well, we kind of tend to agree with the Republican president or whatever he may be, right? So, of course, Trump is going to be on the ballot. So you go back to the democracy's in danger. The progress of Black Americans is being threatened. They're trying to tie all of that together, basically saying that if Trump gets back into office, A, B, C, and D is going to happen. Oh, Black people are going to be more at risk and all this other stuff. Of course, there's a lot of things going on with the GOP, different laws and stuff that they're trying to change, banning books, and just y'all know all that stuff. So they're saying that's directly going to affect us as Black people. Is that true? I don't know. We'll find out. We'll discuss that today. Donovan?
Very interesting. That's a very interesting take, and you're absolutely right. One of the things, and I don't even understand why they make this a requirement, American government before you graduate high school. I believe that's a requirement to graduate, and they don't really go into the civics of it. As we know, we have very different levels of government within the United States. You have the federal level, you have the state level, you have the county level, you have the so on, state, city, and so on, and so forth. So I would say that these states that have this insurrection clause within their laws, that would be under their state law, not the federal law. So yes, you're absolutely right. This is a presidential election, so you can't take a man off a federal election. Now, if this was a state election, let's say for senator or governor, well, not senator because that's federal, but let's say governor or something like that. Yes, you know, insurrection, you can't let them run. So, Demitra, it is very sad to me when people have watched a few movies, A Few Good Men, whatever the movie is, and they think they know how government runs. And you're finding time and time again, Donald Trump and whatever, unanimously, the law is a precedent's been set, whatever the deal is, and it is what it is. And this goes back to what I was telling somebody, I think a couple of weeks ago on the show. I said that Donald Trump does not have the money to meet that judgment that was against him, right? So here's where I'm going with this. He doesn't have the money. He has less than 30 days now to come up with almost $500 million. He doesn't have liquid. But see, this is what I keep telling people. How many people remember his son-in-law got $2 billion from the Saudis? So you don't think that if he wanted to pull that money and post bond, he couldn't do it? I bet you he could. He's just probably waiting to the last minute. But we're seeing that the Democratic Party's plan is falling apart because they figured, and this is just me speculating, that as long as we keep Donald Trump tied up in these court cases and stuff, he can't campaign, he can't do this, he can't do that. But Demitra, if democracy is so at risk, and our co-host, if democracy is so at risk, and he is such a danger, if Donald Trump is such a danger, why are you running Joe Biden when all the numbers show anybody could beat Donald Trump other than Joe Biden. So people, I want you guys to look what they're saying, but also look at what they're doing. Two different things. Oh my God, we're going to scare you. Scaring us with the orange boogeyman can only work once. And they've done that. We know what 4 years under a Trump administration looks like. And during those 4 years, was he concentrated on Black people or was he concentrated on illegal immigration? I think it was illegal immigration. That's why he's trying to build the wall. Now, again, people, we do not support the Republican Party. We do not support the Democratic Party. We are nonpartisan. I'm an independent. Dimitra's an independent. We're just pointing out these things that don't make sense. Use your basic common sense. Like R. Kelly said, use your common sense. Okay, I want you guys to use your common sense. If democracy was at stake and we have everything to lose, why are they running Joe Biden?
Yeah, and you know why? And hello to everybody that came on here. You know why they are running Biden? Because they thought that all the technology they had going on was going to work. They thought somewhere, somehow. I mean, damn, he's got 91 cases, you know, that he's fighting, if you will. But the way it so happens to be working, you got Fani Willis and her dude up in Georgia, they're supposed to be bringing a case against him behind trying to fix the election there in Georgia to say that he won, right? It was a RICO case, one of the biggest cases, I guess, in American history. It wasn't the most significant because the president, could be going to jail and all that if he was found guilty. But
very historic. It's a very historic.
Yeah, and they couldn't even get that together because they humping each other, and had been doing that from what it sounds like since 2019, but got up there, perjured themselves, and find out that the partner in the firm, he, was paying off women behind, SAing them, if you will.
Wait a minute. If they're humping each other or not, and he's a married man, the church said it's okay because they gave her an award.
Yeah, okay. Blasphemy or something like that. And then, so that may not even fly because they're spending a lot of time trying to figure out if they're going to remove Fani and Nathan, because that's what Trump's co-defendant is saying. Hey, they can't be in charge of trying to get us. They, they busy. They rolling around the sheets together.
Right. And speaking of that, doesn't that work like a RICO case? As she's asking people to be quiet and all these other things, because there was a witness that came out today that's in the prosecuting thing. Now, here's a woman who's famous for RICO cases, but her office is acting like a criminal organization as they're trying to cover up all this stuff. The plot thickens.
Yeah, they're sweeping stuff under the rug, telling people to be quiet and, all that other stuff. So now at this point, it sounds like they really just throwing each other under the bus, to be honest with you. So I don't know. So that's one case that was supposed to be the nail in the coffin. You had everybody riding on Fani. Yeah. She no nonsense. She don't play that mess. She gonna, take him to task. And yeah.
And the thing is, you have them on a recording, telephone, saying, "Find me some votes." But now you've got text messages and even her on recording talking about we don't have to tell them anything. I mean, this is just insane how corruption goes. And by the way, is Fani Willis a Republican or a Democrat?
She's a Democrat.
So again, if you guys have been listening to our show for a long time, how many times have we told you it doesn't matter if you're a Democrat, it doesn't matter if you're a Republican. Both parties uphold white supremacy because politics is about power and money, nothing else. Nothing else.
Yeah, so they're keeping Biden, and maybe it's too late to replace him because they thought something was gonna stick. You throw 91 things across the wall, something gonna stick, like something. We got to get them out of here. But the Supreme Court's like, get that out of here. I think somewhere else the Supreme Court ruled that they gonna wait and see and hear another case till after the election. So of course, if he does win the presidency, which he may, I don't know, he ain't gonna be trying nothing because you cannot try a sitting president. So all the stuff that the Democrats have tried to do, I don't care what y'all say, okay? The Democrats tried to cheat in a way to me, it kind of cheating by leveling all these charges and this, that, and the other against him to get him out of the race. But my thing is, if Trump was not a threat per se, he has no chance in hell in winning, because they said that about him the first time. And what did he do? He came back and won. What are y'all worried about? I put a post up on Facebook that you said the Supreme Court said that it's unconstitutional. It's like, let the people decide. Are you afraid that the people will not make the right decision? Are you afraid, and I'm talking about the Democrats, that the people that you have been ignoring and not doing anything for, specifically Black people, are you afraid that they're going to say, well, if I'm going to be forced to vote, I'm going to vote for Trump? Is that what you're afraid of? So let's take them off the ballot. Now, California, one of the officials in California was trying to propose that, but Gavin Newsom was like, no, we're going to whoop him at the polls. If he is to be beat, we're going to do it at the polls. We're not going to go through all these shenanigans trying to get him off, the ballots and all this other stuff. So they're keeping Biden in because they thought something was going to work, but as we're seeing, it's not going to work. Now, the other thing is the DNC will really have to admit they screwed up and choosing very old, very, geriatric Joe Biden to continue on, perhaps for a second term, making him the oldest person on the planet. I'm just playing the oldest presidential, president in the history of the United States. But then there's this other thing. They're also banking on Kamala Harris stepping up, God forbid, that Joe Biden doesn't make it, whether he just forgets that he's even here or, he takes a nap under the dirt or something. So that's why you're seeing them put Kamala up there. She's speaking everywhere. She's addressing this, that, and the other. They have to make her look more presidential in case something happens. So they are trying to sell Kamala opposed to selling Joe Biden. But yeah, the DNC will have to admit that they made a huge mistake in forcing Joe Biden on the American people. And I say American people, I mean the Democrats who will vote for him as a choice. So,
if Trump gets in, isn't there a fear that he will weaponize the justice system? Because if you look at it right now, with 91 cases against Donald Trump and Fani Willis's not competent special prosecutor met with the White House twice that we know of, because he billed the state for that visit, wouldn't that be weaponizing the Justice Department against an American citizen or a political candidate? Wouldn't that be the same? So the very thing that the Democrats accuse the Republicans of gonna do, the Democrats are actually doing it. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm just, like I said, we're just here to have you guys use your common sense and see what you think about it. So what do you say about that?
I don't know if we want to use the common sense R. Kelly was using. Okay. R. Kelly he got a lot of time to think about some things. I mean, you could definitely look at it that way. I guess the question you're asking is, was it, cheating or whatever? Yeah, you can look at it that way. Some people,
weaponization of the DOJ. They're weaponizing the DOJ against a candidate.
Yeah, even though Joe Biden says, well, we don't have nothing to do with that. We leave that to the DOJ. Let them do. We're not in that. It's like, well, how is it that Nathan Wade, who, I don't know, he wasn't trying no cases like that. They said this is the first case of that magnitude or that kind for him. So what you doing at the White House? Well, what you doing up in there? Wasn't you? They said he was trying, I guess he was family law, traffic law, criminal. So he was doing a whole bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, they were saying he's an ambulance chaser.
Yeah.
I'll fight for you.
Right, So it's like now all of a sudden you in the high places and spaces with white faces. I don't know, Arneba, how you doing? Says maybe they're running Biden because the powers behind the scene want Trump to win. That could be it too.
Or is it that they're running Biden because it's a Weekend and Bernie scenario where the people, since he doesn't know what's going on, the people that can't get elected got a puppet that they can maneuver and run so that they could be the power behind the throne, basically like the Wizard of Oz. They're behind the screen.
Yeah, and Fisher Rick, how you doing? I totally agree. She says they can't stop Trump, and you will never be able to find 12 people in America to convict him of anything. Just my opinion. So to your point, when he goes to trial, they still got to find enough people to say he's guilty. Are they going to be able to do that? Because there's people who have mixed feelings about what he's doing. So that would have to say that during the jury selection that the Democrats, if you will, find Democrats who are staunch Democrats who totally hate Trump's guts, but then they would be accused of being biased, and you're not supposed to be. As a jury, supposed to have an open mind. So that could be kind of tricky. So I totally believe that you're on to something. They still have to find somebody, enough people to say he did that. So a good point. Let's see who else came on here. And hello, how you doing? Easy. And average logical. I think it says the least experienced lawyer made the lead and made the worst. I mean, the most. Yeah, that was her dude. At the end of the day, that was her man. She put her man on, thought she was gonna get away with it, and I don't know. Black America, how you doing? So that's how they charge you. When you catch a case, they add up a bunch of things to make something stick. Al Capone tax evasion, but he did everything else. Yeah, they want to make sure that the thing that is undeniable, indefensible, if you will, sticks. So you're absolutely right. But I mean, the people they putting up the back. I mean, the only person that's able to get something, of course, the Stormy Daniels thing. So I guess it's more civil than criminal. I don't know. And then and
there is no crime in buying a little loving.
But it's crime and paying off people and lying about it like that. And
so he didn't disclose it on his campaign form. Yeah, I get it.
The Fonnie Willis case, one of the lawyers in Wade's law firms paying off people. It's a lot. You know what I mean? So yeah, Black America, I agree with you. Juggernaut, how you doing? Says this next election season will be the second time I will vote for the couch. I didn't vote for Biden before. Won't do it now. No tangibles, no vote. How you doing?
Real quick, and this is for the people in the chat. It's for you also, Demitra. If Donald Trump happens to win.
Wait, hold on. Hold on one second. Hold on. How you doing, Emmanuel? You want the link today? I'm going to put the link up for you. I think you're ready to come on up so we can have a nice, cordial conversation. I'm going to put in the link in just a second.
My question to everybody is this. If Donald Trump happens to win, what do you think is going to happen that's going to be any different? The Democrats don't give black people nothing. As we know, we have a Democrat in office right now. Everybody benefited from the Democrat getting into office except black people. If Trump gets in, what's going to change? So my thing to you, Demitra, and everybody else is 0 + 0 = 0. So what's going to change in our lives? And I'm not telling people to vote Republican. Again, if there's not a candidate that you want, hey, sit it out. Just go ahead and sit it out. They can only count votes that are cast. They can't count votes that aren't cast. So sit it out. So what is it that black people have to gain or lose if the Republicans take over?
We can't be losing much more than we already lost. You know what I mean? We ain't got nothing collectively. So, I mean, like Trump said, and I don't agree with him much, but he says, my African Americans, what do you have to lose? And I think he asked a very good question. So let me get back to some of these comments. M, how you doing? Says that Demitra K and Donovan. Did you ever see the opinion from Barack Obama? Had a private voice his concerns that Joe Biden could F things up, according to reporter Thomas Colson. Yes, I did see that. I reported on the African Diaspora News channel. I think somebody else did as well. But yeah, he said that he's concerned. But of course, they tried to clean it up and say, oh, well, no, it wasn't. Didn't mean it that way. But I think conversation that Obama's having about Joe Biden and his age and, all of that. I think a lot of people in the Democratic Party are having a conversation. They just don't want to be the one to admit it, because then it could be a whole lot of ramifications. Oh, you helped throw the election because you said it and all that other stuff. But I'm not surprised he said it. Easy. He said he was getting set up for a bag because he was writing. You crazy. You Fonnie's Fanny. Y'all wilding. Yes, Ghost, how you doing? Says the Honorable Elijah Muhammad tells us not to participate in the polls. Yeah, he said neither the liberal or the conservative, whoever's in the White House, is not going to do anything for black people. So we need to accept our own, be ourselves, and do for self. Right. Absolutely. Jesse, how you doing? Says beef, Black First FBA, Denver, Colorado, #frontline black. All right now. Norris, how are you doing? Says Trump's going to win and wreak havoc on the Democrats. Let's get your popcorn. Yeah, for those people who are sitting on the couch, right? And Black America says if they go to New York City and have a 12 people, he is, well, I mean, he was, or I had a judgment for him to pay almost $500 million. So I don't know. Is that the case? I don't know. I mean, maybe I would think back in the day that would be an argument that, because I know New Yorkers aren't really fond of Trump like that, but things have changed now. There's a lot of New Yorkers who are suffering due to the migrants going up in there over the Democrats' open border policy. So some people may think differently, like we need some relief from all this nonsense that's going on, right? Leather and luxury cars, how you doing? Long time no see. He says, I don't know. He's able to get a non-biased trial in this country with all the manufacturing of hatred. I hate to say this, but it's like MLK getting a fair trial, simply not possible. All right. And Bada, how you doing? He says, I'm in. All right now. Okay. And Emmanuel, let me know if you want me to share the link. I would love for you to come up here. And Cosmic Oasis, how you doing? It says Black First FBA. United Arkansas in the house, New Black Media. Yes, indeed. Candy, how you doing? It says Biden would never get my vote. Soto, how are you today? Yeah, a lot of people are saying that. Sparkling for Jesus says the Klan will have rallies out in the streets openly. And if they do, I mean, I'd rather them have it out in the streets openly. Then behind closed doors, I want to know who my local Klan members are. I surely do. Do you really want those people to go back in the closet and hiding? Now let's get them out in the open so we're very clear, And let's see here. Official Rick says, if Trump gets in there, your comment cut off. He says they're going to be nice to Black people. Who you talking about? The Klan? And Ghost says the devil will always be the devil. Neither party. I totally agree with you. Cannot borrow the feeling. It says booming stock market, more jobs, less regulation. And speaking of regulations, there's a Republican senator and a Democrat senator, Sherrod Brown on the Democrat side and Rick Scott on the Republican side. They want Biden to sign legislation basically saying that the duty-free tax obligation should be a lot lower. So now it's $800 a day per American citizen, basically meaning for those of y'all who order on Shein, Alibaba, Temu, and other online sites, and you can order from China, things like that. Of course, those things are very inexpensive. But if he signs this legislation, it will drop it, I think, to like under $200. So, for instance, it says if you order $55 worth of stuff, which it could be cheap, expect to pay double for that same stuff if they get their way. So basically, the purpose of that legislation is so to stop the closure of American businesses, because a lot of manufacturing businesses American businesses are going out of business. They said they cannot compete with the prices of China and things like that. It's like, well, why don't you just drop your prices? Nobody wants to pay more for the same thing that you probably going to get from China yourself, and you're going to put in your American store. So they're trying to stop the closing of American businesses. So that's not going to be good. And Khalil, how you doing? Let's see here. Super Star Rising. And thank you for that compliment. Love and appreciate you. You say nothing. Candy says, at least we don't have to watch everyone get something but us, so nobody gets anything. Yep. Jay Bubba. He says, I'll vote Trump just to get to the mass deportation. Yeah, and that definitely will help Black people. All right, let me skip down a little bit so I can catch up. Stephen, how are you doing today? Michael, what's going on with you? Nina, Simone, how are you? M, he says, we need that border closed immediately. Yes, indeed. And how you doing, by the way? Easy says, D, I agree. If he wins, he's coming after Democrats like nothing seen before with pardons, policies, changes, etc. Yeah, all we can do is wait and see, right? Melvin, how you doing? Says DK, my girl, when are you coming home? Cali, Los Angeles. I'll take you to Tony Muhammad. He says, Majid in Hebrew, all love, Foundation Black America. Oh, well, I'll be there sooner than you think. Minister Tony Muhammad is actually the minister at Temple 27 in Los Angeles. And my father, that's his, home temple, if you will, mosque there. So absolutely. And Go says, get the likes up, please. Yes, if y'all could, I would love and appreciate you. DSB, how are you doing this fine evening? And let me skip on down. on. Who else came on here? Patricia, how you doing? Says Jersey City is here. Yes, indeed. I haven't seen if Emmanuel wants to come on. Have you guys seen that at all?
No, he's in the chat. He says he could make his statements from the chat. So basically, and I hate to say this, but he's a Democratic troll. They're sending these bots out, like they call us. They're sending these bots out on channels like ours to try to wreak havoc and stuff like that. All we're asking, Emmanuel, is for you to enlighten us with your point of view.
We're not gonna bite. We're very nice people. We really are. Did I say hello? Is Damon on here? Did I skip Damon? Oh, there you go. Damon, how are you doing? I hope you are doing well. Fishing with Rick says, I live in Nashville. The Klan just march here. They always march in the open, no matter who the president is, right? We can't be so afraid of racists that we vote them out of fear. Yeah, the Klan started under the Democratic Party, you know, and to be told, the Klan is in every party. Y'all think, oh, Democrats, and we're talking about the new Democrats. We can't be a part of them. They in every party. The KKK is everywhere. You cannot escape the KKK. So, but y'all gonna let, you know, the Democrats put you in fear? It's like, no, don't stop with the fear mongering. Tell voters what you're gonna do for them. Like that. Like this is one of my pet peeves. Okay, say Donovan and I were gonna go out to dinner. I say, Donovan, what would you like to eat today? I don't know. And I say, okay, how about we eat tacos? Well, I don't want no tacos. I don't like no tacos because tacos ain't. All right, well, what would you like? I don't know. But I know I don't want no tacos. So it's like you're telling me what you don't want, but you have no idea what you want. So it's kind of like with the Democratic Party. If you vote for Trump, this and that's going to happen. You're going to be on the plantation. You're going to be back in chains. All right, well, do you have something better that would get me to the polls to vote for you? No. But I know you shouldn't be voting for Trump. I'm not scared. You know, there's a show called Scare Tactics. It was with Tracy Morgan, one of my favorite shows. And then they would scare people with different things. And they'd be scared. Ah! And then he'd come out and he'd say, are you scared yet? Or whoever's scared, are you scared yet? They're like, yeah, I'm scared. You should be. This is a prank, you know. But that's what they're doing to us. It's like they're really trying to freak us out. It's like, for what? What should we be afraid of?
Well, let me ask you this, and people in the chat. My moniker is the recovering Democrat. So what does that mean? That means for a long time, I was a Democrat. And when you're in recovery, that doesn't mean you're cured. Doesn't mean like I'm a Republican now. I still hope and pray for the Democratic Party. But the problem is, I know their policies and what they've done is nothing for me, so it's not good for me. So Emmanuel coming in here calling people Republicans and all this other stuff. And again, I'm amazed. You know, we're not one of those channels that are going to delete you because of your disruptiveness in the chat. We're not going to do that. However, if you know anything about anybody in recovery, that is somebody who is still addicted. I have a longing that the Democratic Party does the right thing by Black people, but it is very hard for me to support them when they offer nothing time and time and time again, election after election. Thus, I can't ride with them.
Yeah, Emmanuel, like I said, we don't bite. Not hard anyway. Come on up here and we'll just have a conversation, but you obviously disagree with what we're saying, and it'd be easier just to have a conversation with you up here, opposed to you going back and forth in the comment section. I mean, you know, it ain't what you know, it's what you can prove. Back it up, brother. Back up what you're saying. And if you can't do that, then what you're doing is just thumb thugging in the comment section. And who is that really hurting? Your thumbs. And Damon, and how you doing, Momo? And Damon says, I'm trying to recover from PTSD living in America. Absolutely.
Exactly. And it's going to take a long time for you to recover.
Yep. And Dwayne, how you doing? Say hello, family. I'm late, but the Democrats never have done anything for us Blacks. So air for them. Yeah, they never have and never will. They're not going to, you know. And then as I am on like Instagram and stuff, I'm seeing people like Tyrese the singer is like, man, you got your own problems, but he really riding down on Trump, how he ain't it, how he's horrible and he's this. And people are like, man, shut up and sing. Shut up and sweet lady, would you be mine? You know, we need you to do that, you know. and cry, whatever. What else do you want from me? We need you to do that. Take your ass to Fast and Furious 22, however many installments they got out. But we don't need you telling us, not to vote for Trump. He ain't it. I'm like, golly, they ain't got no money for reparations, but they got money for celebrities to pay them to get on their platforms and ride down on black people. Don't you vote for Trump? We don't listen to you, only on Spotify. And I'm about to stop listening to you there if you keep up this madness.
Right. And speaking of these celebrities, didn't Kamala Harris meet with D.L. Hughley, Roly Poly Martin, and a few other celebrities to, I guess, pitch on their platforms Joe Biden and his policies and what he's done specifically for black people? Again, whenever I get into an argument or a disagreement with somebody like Emmanuel, and I say specifically, tell me what the Democratic Party has done for black people, because specifically he did something for the Asian, specifically he did something for LGBTQ, specifically he's doing something for the illegals, specifically he's doing stuff for the dreamers, right? Specifically he's doing these things. Let me tell you something. When you tell me the infrastructure bill, that's a structure of government. That's what the government is supposed to do, the upkeep of the infrastructure. So that doesn't count. Well, he gave us clean water. That's a function of government. That doesn't count. Everybody benefits from that. Everybody benefits from the infrastructure. I'm not going to give the government credit for something they're supposed to do to keep a civilized society. I'm not going to give them credit. I'm asking you specifically, what is it that you're going to do for black people? And again, we are not going to play this game of, well, you get me in, you get me elected, then I'll do something. We saw how that worked under Joe Biden. Black people are waking up. No, we want to see something now. Well, I'm not elected. There's nothing I can do. No check, no vote. Gotta go.
Yeah, absolutely. Hold on a second. Read it. Great book. Y'all pick it up. I'm telling y'all, it's a good read, honestly. So she met with Roland Martin, D.L. Hughley, Spike Lee, which I was like, huh? And the usual suspects to see what they can do differently to try to figure out what's going on with Black America and black men especially. Of course, they ain't telling nothing worth listening to, because they tout Kamala Harris out there. I wonder if she had a low-cut blouse and she put on some red lipstick when she... I've just wondered. I'd love to be a fly on the wall to see how she was talking. Did she do a Sharon Stone? She's sitting in front of them with her skirt on and she uncrosses her legs and
showing us the bully woolly.
Yeah. So, Roland, what was you saying?
Well, Demitra, wait a minute, though. Wait a minute. The last election, if there's no voting, there's no bucking. Isn't that the same thing?
Yeah, you're supposed to black women, shut them down. Clamp up on them. Don't give them no loving. If they ain't voting, okay, well, I'm going to go vote. If I was a black man, I'd say, all right, fine. I can't have you holding out on me, gal. I'm going to go vote for the Republicans. I know who sent you, Saucy Santana, Trina, but you didn't really say who. I'm going to go vote for Trump. Can I still get in? Can we still get horizontal trampoline action if I go do that? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I don't know what was Spike Lee and them tell Kamala about the rest of us. I met Spike Lee one time. Believe it or not, I really did, But what can they really tell them about the rest of black people? They doing all right. They got a little good piece of the pie, and I'm not begrudging them of that. But how the hell are they going to speak for the rest of us? I'm curious.
Absolutely. And speaking of which, when it comes to these elections, the migrant is not the issue. I know everybody's like, oh, the illegal migrants. Do you guys realize every day they're saying that something like 10 or 15, 50,000 of these illegal migrants are being legalized? And what I mean by being legalized is they're being granted asylum to stay in the United States to meet their court dates later on, and they're allowed to work. The migrants that are here, we shouldn't focus our anger or our problem against the migrants. They're a symptom of the problem. The problem is this: those migrants in 3 years, when they got to go see their court date and they're denied, have children in those 3 years, which makes them anchor babies. They're going to have anchor babies. They're going to make them keep here. In about 10 to 12 years, those babies are going to be eligible or close to eligible to vote. Right now in California, and Demitra, I saw it on a clip that you did on the African Diaspora News Channel, with 6% of Black people in California, or at least in Los Angeles area, the Democrats aren't worried about the Black vote anymore. We're irrelevant. We are irrelevant as a voting class in California. This is the plan by the Democratic Party. If you can't see that at this point, how are we going to survive? It's not the migrants now, it's going to be their children. And then our grandchildren, whatever, are going to have to deal with that, where they're not going to have the numbers. They're not going to have the numbers. And then that puts us irrelevant. We're already at the bottom of the economic scale. So if you don't even have a power of a vote to affect change, you're basically a slave.
Michael says, Donovan and Demitra, both of your statements without empirical studies are questionable. I mean, and what are these empirical studies based off of? Whose empirical data are we talking about? See, it's all subjective. We could question everything. You know, I personally have taken philosophy in college, and philosophy woke me up to a lot of things because it asks, how do you know? How do you know the color red is red? Who determined that? Maybe the color red is actually green. So whose data are you talking about? I'm just asking. And Mr. 619, how are you doing, 619? Says Tiffany Henry's grammar has set us back crazy. 50 years, shaking my head. She's the worst mayor in America. Yeah, it sounds like she get wow. And y'all see Roland Martin and Angela Yee gave her a platform and interviewed her and gave her a whole bunch of softball questions. Didn't ask her nothing of any substance at all. She gave them answers and they never pushed back. Like she says on Angela Yee, oh, everybody just loves me. Oh, they're in love with me. Now, Angela very easily could have asked her, well, if they in love with you, girl, why did they recall you? Or they tried to anyway. They fashioned a recall to get your ass up out of there. Do you love people and try to get rid of them? I don't know. But Angela didn't ask her that. So it's like, y'all just let her sit up there and try to plead her case. But the people of Dalton said differently. They said, no, she got to go. We do not like her. She's horrible. She's spending all this money. But then when Roland interviewed her, then he had to go back and do a mea culpa, if you will, and try to break it down, prove she was lying. It's like, nah, sucker. You should have did all that when she was up there, but you was in love with her, telling you all these lies. And, you know, Roland's supposed to be so smart. But see, Tiffany's a Democrat, too, so you let her get up there. Oh, no, that ain't my charity. I know it's got my name on there, but I don't know anything about it. Like, really? Then he tried to come back and do a show. It's like, at the moment, the thrill is gone. Okay, BB King, the thrill is gone. Anyway, let's move along. Pamela, how you doing? Says, I will vote for someone that will be good president of the United States, whether Republican or Democrat. I know we can only vote Republican or Democrat. Everyone has their opinions. Hi, Donovan. Hi, Demitra. How are you doing, by the way? And Melvin, thank you so much. I'm hot today. It's like 87 degrees here in Houston. And Dole, he says, Roland Martin said today, Black folks is not for Trump. Oh, clearly he know that's a lie because he wouldn't be saying it and hopping up. Well, I don't know how much he's going to be able to hop up and down, but he's trying his mind and screaming and hollering, ranting because he knows that a lot of Black people, a lot more than 2020, want to vote for Trump. So he knows that's a lie, which is why he goes on the way he does, calling Black people idiots, Simple Simons, and all this other stuff, because he know that's a lie. He's like, you can't wish that away, Roland. Instead, why don't you take your homeboy Biden to task and tell him to do something for Black people if you want Black people to vote for you? But he won't do that.
And have you guys noticed when he only talks that way to Black people? He doesn't talk that way to the Asians. He doesn't talk that way to the white man. He doesn't talk that way to the LGBTQ community. Only to the Black community does he talk that way. To the Latins, he don't talk that way. Only to us. And yet you want us to vote for you, but you talk to us like we're nothing. So
Yeah, but Ghost, thank you so much for the donation. Love it, appreciate you that. And fishing with Rick, thank you so much also for the. Let me find it. It's down here. Ooh, okay, got some other. Jay, how you doing? And thank you so much for the donation. Love it, appreciate you for that. And fishing with Rick, thank you once again. Love and appreciate you for all the donations, you guys. All right, so where was I at? There was a question what was you asking me? Donovan, did you ask me a question? And Marcelo says, can you say divide and conquer? Everybody's mad at the illegal immigrants when they should be mad at the government. The illegal immigrants aren't the ones with the money, it's the government. Nah, don't be mad. Don't even be mad at the government as much as be mad at yourself. Not you, I'm saying, but the people who voted for said government, said Democrats who are with the open border policies. Black people helped that. They sponsored the immigration that's going on today because you voted for the Democrats overwhelmingly. And the Democrats said, all right, well, we're going to open up these borders. Trump had them closed. They called him everything but a child of God. And some of that was probably racist. Let's keep it a buck. But, he was like, nah, they don't need to be coming up over here, But the Democrats that sponsored by us said, well, we're going to open up the borders. We're going to let them in. They're going to take over all the inner cities. They're going to get the resources the Black people were asking for but never got. And then we're going to gaslight Black voters into voting for more of nothing by using Trump as the boogeyman. And so, yeah, we can, when I say we, I'm saying Black voters who predominantly vote Democrat, thank yourselves for the immigration status that we have going on now here in America. And Nakashama, how you doing? I hope you are doing well this evening. And yes, Perry, Roland is full of ish. It is very pathetic, but people ain't gonna call him on it. But people are starting to call him on it because what I understand, it sounds like people in his comment section was like, "Wait a minute, now, sucker, wait a minute. Why are you giving this lady a pass when she
him and Angeline?"
Yeah, the people are not putting up with it anymore. And M says they are short-term goals and long-term goals. We are in a war. Says MPW. Okay.
Well, you know what? Wait. We want to be fair and balanced. I know that's a Fox thing, but let's just be fair and balanced, Demitra. Okay. So I don't want people to think that we're just bashing the Democrats. Can somebody please tell me in the chat, or Demitra, if you have any information, some of the things that the Democrats have done for Black people in the last 60 years, specifically for Black people, or that has made us better? And please don't say that they put crack in the neighborhood, which made us all high and happy and all that other good stuff. No, please tell me specifically what the Democratic Party, which is no different than the Republican Party, let me say that, white supremacy is white supremacy. Why should we vote for the Democratic Party? What have they done where they've earned our vote?
Thank you, Average Logical Thinker. You says, hell, I just got my tax refund. Thanks for the knowledge. Well, we want to thank you. It is our pleasure. Thank you so much. Donovan, I'm sorry. I was trying to walk a chew bubble gum at the same time. What was your question?
Could you tell me specifically what has the Democratic Party done in the last 60 years, from 60 years ago till now, specifically for Black people? Because I don't want it to seem like we're just beating up on the Democratic Party. But the thing is, I want to know, since there are people out there that say, oh, the Democrat does this, please tell me something that the Democratic Party has done for Black people that has benefited us. Because it seems to me in the 60s, before the Civil Rights Movement, we had a lot of middle-class Black people, doctors, lawyers, business owners. Right now, we are predominantly in this society at the very bottom, and that's happened within the last 60 years. So please tell me what policies or things, and I know you guys could think of some, that the Democratic Party has done for Black people. That's all I'm asking. And if Emmanuel wants to answer that, please do.
I'm just going to let them listen.
I mean, yes, yes, they've given us the first Black woman vice president. When she's election time, she's Black. Other than that, she identifies as East Indian. Yes, they've given us the first Black woman Supreme Court justice who can't identify what a woman is. And that is the same woman that went against collective bargaining against minority groups who sued a corporation, and she took that right away from that. She got rid of the settlement that they won. What else have they done for us? They didn't codify Roe versus Wade. Gosh, I really, seriously, I mean, in all seriousness, I can't think of anything.
I'm just putting all the answers up here on the screen. I don't think I need to. Does eggs, milk, and cheese count? I don't know.
I mean, we have 62 members of the Congressional Black Caucus. 62 members. Please name one of them that has done something for the Black people.
We got a rap song backs that thing up.
That's right. We got a Crown Act. We've got Juneteenth. We've got Hip Hop Month. I mean, come on, you guys. Some of this stuff that we did get from the Democratic Party, it's a joke. Come on now. You guys can't say that's serious stuff that's going to help us out of our situation.
Michael, the short answer is none of them. Okay. You say Demitra and Donovan both of you need to flip the script and ask which third-party candidates will help Black economically. First of all, not the Claudia De La Cruz, Jasmine Peterson, or Dr. Jill Stein. Neither one of them getting in the White. They're not even getting close to the White House yard, let alone getting into the White House to even do any of that. So the answer is, hold on. How you doing, Lene?
Well, I'm going to say, in the words of the great late Jerry Monroe, not a damn thing.
Right. Exactly. R.I.P. to that brother. You know, it'll be a whole year next month that the 5-star general Gary Wayne Monroe has passed on an untimely manner. I think about it all the time. I'm like, damn, that is so crazy. It really is, you know.
But here's the funny thing, Demitra, and all the things that you're putting up, all of these people see what is going on, and you guys understand that this party is not doing the job. I'm not telling you to vote. We're not telling you to vote Republican. We're telling you vote your wallet, but your wallet, not color. I mean, you guys are all saying stuff that I think about myself. Like, this is all symbolism. I'm getting nothing here. I'm 53 years old, and I've been voting for over almost 40 years. And the ball has not moved for me in that time. And yet you've got people out here that are telling us, oh, you must be a Republican. What if I am? What is that? Shame, guilt, you know, what are we doing here? Having a Crown Act, how does that put money in my pocket? How does that stop me from being homeless? How does that stop? You know, people say, well, a lot of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. We're not talking about all of Americans. We're talking about Black Americans. Black Americans. Show me another group of people who are in this country and came here with chains. Show me another group of people whose identity was stripped. This is the difference between us and them. And since that was a wrong, where is the check? Don't tell me we'll give you free tax. Oh, we're going to let you go to school for free. We'll give you some more money to the HBCUs. Less than 20% of Black people attend HBCUs. Do you guys know that? So how is that helping us? I mean, this is lunacy when you hear these Democratic shills sit there and try to defend what is not there.
Michael says, Demitra, I researched Claudia De La Cruz. She supports cash payment reparations for FBA DOS. I researched her campaign platform. I disagree with you that she would not help Black people economically. I think it sounds good. Let's keep it a buck. She's not, when I say not, going to win. She's not even going to, she's probably, I don't know, she probably get 0.0% of the vote. She's not going to get in. So whether she supports reparations or not, you know, we don't want to play fairy tale here. She's not going to get in. You know, and I don't know, she damn sure ain't gonna get in on the strength of her trying to get cash reparations for Black people. Most of everybody outside of Black Americans do not want Black Americans to get reparations. And so we only make up about 13% of the population. She would need more than just us to vote for her. Even your people don't think that Black Americans should get reparations. So what are we doing here, Michael? What are we doing?
And isn't it amazing that we go out there and we fight for everybody else to put the fire out in their house? And I got this from Demitra K on the African Diaspora News Channel. That's a plug. Demitra was doing a thing over there. We are quick to rush and help other people put a fire out in their homes. And then when we need help, silence. Silence. The Asian community is silent. The Latino community is silent. We know the white people are silent, but you know what I mean? All these people. How many of you guys know 250,000 Ukrainians were sent here to the United States and were able to dip into the Social Security system that they never put into? How many of you people know 500,000 Venezuelans were legalized by executive order by Joe Biden within the first month of being here? How many of you guys know this stuff? But when Black people, 60% of us, even though we're 13% of the so-called population, 60% of Black people are homeless, they ain't got no money. How are we going to pay for it? 1 million veterans are on the streets. You can't solve that problem. Please explain this to me. And no, we're not upping the Republican Party. We are talking about the Democratic Party that is in power right now and their policies that we are seeing in real time.
And let me just go on and read this comment. It says, Thunder says, I hate when they ask that, are you a Republican? Because that's how they be sounding, huh? You're a Republican. It says, if I am, so what? The good thing about the Republicans, I get to keep my pew-pew just in case I need to defend myself from physical harm of any kind. And I agree with you, Thunder. And if I'm a Republican, what you gonna do about it? Run up! You ain't gonna do nothing about it. Like, what you gonna do? You gonna rebuke me in the name of Jesus? You gonna uninvite me from the picnic? Like, what are you gonna do to me if I'm a Republican? What does that mean? That you were upset that I'm a Republican? How could you? How could you be a Republican? You know what they trying to do to you? Don't tell me. What are they trying to do to me? And what have they done to me that the Democrats have not done to me? Well, I don't know, but they said. Who is the society of they, may I ask? Well, you know, the Democrats and Tyrese and them telling me that, you know, something wrong with you if you were a Republican. I don't see how nobody Black could be a Republican.
Wasn't the most Blacks after the Civil War Republicans up until FDR?
Yeah, we were Republicans. Well, yeah, really, FDR and really up until the civil rights movement, then it was a major shift, right? So, I mean, you know, I just cannot with those people. I just sigh and just say, huh, you ain't going to be able to, they'll wake them all up. Some of them like to be asleep. Let them, you know. What can you do? There's nothing you can do.
And then how many of you guys realize that culturally, Black people are very conservative in nature? We are very conservative people in nature. What does that sound like? Oh, Republicans.
Yeah, but we've been moved away from that. You know, we ain't running around talking about getting rid of our babies. Oh, well, you know, they trying to stop the clinics from opening and how ain't that gonna help Black people? If the population of Black people are able to rise, I mean, we run around talking about, you know, no shit. Shut up. Never mind. I'm not gonna say it. But yeah, a lot of the policies that the Republicans have, actually, that's what we have. I mean, I don't go to church no more, but I say the church about before the last 10 years or so used to be really conservative, but now they doing all kind of stuff up in the church. Stuff that it would really just make your grandmama roll over in a grave, you know? So I don't know. I don't know if the church is even a good example of conservatism anymore. Not the Black church. Like I said, there's a lot of things going on there. Black people we have lost our minds collectively with the stuff that we co-sign and think is all right. It's crazy. And Common Man says the Crown Act is covered in the First Amendment. They fooled the fools dumb. Yeah, but even here in Texas, they have the Crown Act as well. But locally, they're saying we're not going to enforce it. Y'all have heard of what's the guy, little boy's name? I forget his name, George something. He's not able to attend regular school due to his dreadlocks. The school wants him to cut his hair off, and he's not going to do that. Michael says, Demitra, you know what I care about Black people of America and fighting hard for cash paper reparations. I'm not saying that you don't. I'm saying the people that you saying should run, they don't stand a chance at all. So it's like we entertaining ghosts, if you will. Anita says, say that again for the people in the back. Everyone is quieter than a mouse peeing on a cotton ball. Yes, indeed. And Don, you say when you get a college degree, you still have to depend on them folks for an employment opportunity that are commiserate with our education and experience. A college degree don't mean a damn thing. Not no more.
How many of you guys got at least a bachelor's degree and they're offering you $11 an hour for that bachelor's degree? You know, for your experience and stuff. They want to give you $11 an hour.
Yeah,
but yet if you're a legacy,
more.
Yeah, but if you're a legacy and you just know the right person, that's your manager, that's your supervisor, even though you have way more experience and the education to go with it.
Yeah, you know, the masters ain't that much better. They're offering peanuts for that too, you know. So back in the day, you could pay off your little student loans with the good job you got. Nowadays, it's like, damn, I can't even buy a hope and a prayer with the money they're trying to make me or give me.
And the sad thing is, how many of you guys have experienced it if you're looking for work or whatever? Even in the federal government, they're doing this. You have people that come from the baby, and I'm not trying to dump on the baby boomer generation. I'm just saying the facts. They got in these government jobs in the 70s, right? They got these government jobs. Boom, they went in there, they spent in there 30, 40 years, right? Now the baby boomers are starting to retire from these government jobs. Now, remember when they got those jobs, all needed was a high school diploma. Now to get those very same jobs that those baby boomers are retiring from, you need a master's degree or a bachelor's minimum. So they're like pulling up the ladder so you can't even get those jobs that they don't even have the skills that you might have or the education that you might have to get those very jobs.
Yes, indeed. And Love, how you doing? It says, I don't support the KKK, QAnon, the Proud Boys, or anybody that supports them. Well, I don't either. I don't support them either. But again, every party is racist. Joe Biden is probably more racist. I even probably is more racist than Trump. But somehow people just gloss over that. You know what I don't get is why we as Black people, I'm tired, so I'm going to get a little loopy here in a minute. Why do we have such a love affair with white people? Why? I'm not saying this about you, Love, but like, to me, when I hear the argument between Trump and Biden, and especially amongst Black people, we arguing over what white man is better for us. And the answer is not, none of them are better for us. I'm not going to argue over who's the best white man for us. I'm just not going to do, I'm not getting in that. But if I have to, and I have to put a little logic to it, Biden is more racist. Nothing is more racist than taking your legislative pen and voice and championing for laws that has hurt generations of Black people that we will never recover from. What legislation has Trump written that has put a shockwave through generations of Black people? Put it in the chat if you have an answer.
I mean, wasn't it Trump that gave out the PPP loans and said just give them whatever they're asking for? We'll worry about it later. Who is the president right now that is putting a 10-year moratorium, and it can even go further than that, to recoup the money that unfortunately a lot of people took advantage of?
Yeah, put the answer in the chat. Brother Sammy, how you doing? It says, aren't most of the abortion clinics put in our community? This meaning we are the people whom they want to reduce a population. Yeah, but now you got Black people running around talking about, they trying to get rid of reproductive rights for women. It's like it's a play on words, you know, as I say in the nation, technology. Because when you say reproductive rights, what does that even mean? It's because I think women should have reproductive rights. But what reproductive rights are we talking about? Are you saying, because I know in France, they, had a big old, legislation, I guess, I don't know, where they have legalized abortion or whatever. I don't know. But we know that when they're talking about reproductive rights, what they're talking about the deletion of babies. And so when I hear that argument, especially from us, I might get myself in trouble here. If we're talking specifically about that, you can preserve your own reproductive rights by not jumping into bed with somebody you don't want to procreate with, right? I guess that's too simple to take accountability. Now, when I think of reproductive rights on the other end, I think there should be equality with women when they're giving babies. Of course, we know Black women suffer the most when it comes to maternity issues, having babies and stuff. So I think that kind of stuff counts. But if we're talking about the deletion of babies, why are Black people running around howling and screaming about that? I don't even think most of those people even know what they're talking about. You really just break it down, Only Pamela's Way, how are you doing today? Thunder says most Black people are conservative. We want to defend ourselves, have a nuclear family, pay less taxes, keep what we earn, and live unbothered by local, state, and federal government. Sounds good to me. That is a very conservative way of living. Pop, how you doing? Good evening to you as well. Buck Horse says we're not fighting nobody else war. We're done with that crap. Let my people go. Yes. Brother Easy said that's because they have lowered the standard to justify low wages. Oh my God, yeah. Low wages, think minimum wage on a federal level still $7.25. Here in Texas is $7.25. And who the hell is living off of that? Y'all heard the argument about cereal where the CEO of Kellogg's stepped in it a couple of weeks back when he was talking about how, Americans basically are having problems putting food on the table. And he says, well, they can eat cereal. Cereals, it's good to eat. They can eat cereal for dinner. So, of course, people lost their stuff because they're like, what do you mean? Eat cereal for dinner. And my daughter, she's following all of that stuff. And she says, people, if you had gone to store and buy cereal, it's $6 a box. So if you make it $7.25 an hour, you got to work damn near, an hour or whatever to even pay for that expensive box of cereal. That's a bunch of sugar and nothing. So
get the brown wrap. Stop going for the main wrap. Get the brown wrap.
Yeah, but even the brown wrap, But it's like, how dare you, CEO? You're probably getting, millions of dollars in bonuses every year. Tom, and that's at Marie Antoinette. Let them eat cake. Let them eat cereal for dinner. What the hell? That ain't even nowhere near nutritious. But y'all gouging people. And I was listening to this study yesterday. How they said somewhere, I can't remember, in another part of the world, they are not selling PepsiCo products because it's like, y'all up in here price gouging. So we're refusing to sell your products until y'all get y'all pricing in order and lockstep with our economy so that they can pay for it.
Well, it is very funny that you bring that up because there are a lot of countries now that are outlawing those plastic bottles. How many of you guys know the plastic bottles that you drink out of? There's some kind of particulate that breaks off in the plastic that gets into your body. And a lot of countries have identified that, have outlawed those plastic bottles and things of that nature. But not in the United States, hey, we want you to go ahead and kill yourself. That's why they put guns and liquor stores in the Black neighborhood. And by the way, have you guys noticed? Not even the Latin community wants these illegal migrants in their community. Ask yourself that.
Yeah. Easy says correct because they are not and never have been for us. Absolutely. And Steven says, I don't care about any Edomite. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to argue over who's the better slave master for us, And Anita, you say, Demitra, great question. Why are we arguing over who is the best? There you go. I should have read that question. Best slave owner. Right. But that's what we're doing. Hey, Sister Shirley, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. And Brother Damien says, yeah, Biden in that barbershop trash. Somebody was saying that Kamala was somewhere in the White House playing Sexy Red today or somewhere. What song of Sexy Red does she find acceptable to be playing in the White House? I'm curious.
My booty brown, gonna go down to Pound Town.
She probably was singing and not knowing what the hell she talking about. Bend that ass over. Woo, you know what I'm saying, Fife? That's what Kamala said. What was it? Some interview. You know what I'm saying, Fife? And Fife had been dead and gone, R.I.P. R.I.P. But yeah, Cutthroat, how you doing? Thank you so much for the donation. Love and appreciate you for that. He says, I suggest that on election day is that instead of voting, we write in reparations for descendants of American slaves. Yeah, a lot of people are going to get clever, write in stuff and, all that. Or some people are saying the couch looks really cozy. So yeah, that Common Man says, I paid off my college education using rap, RIP. Most old school rappers did, but We're talking about the 1980s. I'm still getting money from the late 70s, early 80s. Thank you, SAG. All right. Well, something's working out for somebody. I'm glad to hear that. All right. Michael, so you're talking to somebody else. And Brother Samuel says, right, Demitra, Trump's words versus Biden's deeds. Yeah, I mean, we really just kind of plugging in the numbers and stuff. We're going to come up with Biden being worse. And if you don't come up with that, you're just an emotional wreck. Get a hold of yourself. And Don says, reproductive rights means the right to reproduce. That shouldn't be taken away from a woman. With that definition, I'm all for reproductive rights. But yeah, that ain't what they mean. No, they mean that you just get out there like jackrabbits and, procreate, and then you don't want the responsibility. Then you should be able to, do the unthinkable.
Yes, and real quick, Demitra, you did a spot on the African Diaspora News Channel in regards to that older gentleman in Chicago that made a really good point in regards to how the ancestors should be ashamed of us, and what the situation is today. Could you kind of give us a little expound on that a little bit?
Yes, indeed. So that was Brother, I should say, Elder George Blakemore, Chicago, and he's very instrumental in what's going on there with the migrants. He's very outspoken, and he said, basically, y'all Black people in Chicago, y'all voted for this. We got what we got because of y'all. Nobody could tell you anything differently. You wanted what you wanted. You voting for people because they Black, all this other stuff. And he says the ancestors hate you. Basically, they would be ashamed of you and what you're doing and what you are. Look at what you've done to the rest of us. They're coming over here and they're benefiting and getting the stuff that was promised kind of sort of to us. And now we're not getting it. And now you're mad. It's like, oh, you don't, what you mad for? What you mad for? Be mad at yourself. He says people tried to tell you, you just didn't listen. And now you're seeing what's going on. So he says, it says Martin, Malcolm, Harriet Tubman, all of them just shaking their heads at the state of, where we at now. So I'm with them 100%. Thundy says,
very telling. I mean, and again, we got to look at ourselves even now. You don't have to be in Chicago. Look at yourselves even now, because one thing he said real quick was when he was speaking at that meeting, that place should have been packed with Black people. It should have been packed. How many times on this show do we tell you guys and I'm not saying you have to go to every city council meeting, but because you got internet, you can see all kinds of what's going on in your city. But what did you say on the show? We are reactive, not proactive. We show up after the decision has been made. Sad.
And that's what's going on there. Showing up after the decision has been made. Migrants going all up over there, getting all the resources. Now you want to hop up and down in anger, but you should have been doing that before you voted, But that's what happens when you're emotional. When you're emotional, you make rash decisions. I mean, I've been emotional and I made some pretty bad decisions in my life because I was emotional. Instead of taking a couple of seconds to say, okay, let me sit myself down here. Let me think about it. Because, just some people are very emotional. And I get it, but you cannot let emotions trump logic, right? So because we as Black people tend to be a little bit on the emotional side, we allow everybody to give us talking points. We don't question it. We gonna stick our arm out. We're not gonna question what's in the infusion. We just gonna take the infusion, and we just gonna go with it. You know what I'm saying? That's that lady. I wish I could find that clip. Oh, I'm gonna try to find it. And she was basically talking about and she was basically like saying, stop asking what's in this, vaccine. Stop asking. She said, I'm going to stick my arm out. I ain't going to ask no questions. I don't want to know what's in the infusion. I don't care about the ingredients. And she did just like that. But that's very telling because they expect for us as Black people just go into the booth, don't ask no questions, just vote all down ballot. If it's blue, no matter who, just vote for it, including the Blue Man Group and anything else that's blue, okay? Vote for it. So, hey, Edward, how are you doing? I hope they wasn't playing Pound Town up in there. Hands on your knees, hands on your knees. You know what? Actually, that's not really a bad song. It's very catchy. Now, if you ask me, they could have changed up some lyrics or whatever, but yeah, that definitely. I'm curious. You crazy easy talking about that's what Willie told her. Talking about comma. Brother Simon says, I remember the last Dr. Layla Africa asking us, why do you think they have generals like Generals Kellogg are running food companies? Who are they at war against? Well, you know, the war is on us, and the best way to get us is through our food source, right? I don't eat that kind of stuff. I'm not gonna pay you $6 for a bunch of cereal and processed foods that has apps. And then they say, oh, it's fortified with vitamins. Well, you have to fortify something. That means that it originally didn't have it. So they have to put it in there to give it some nutrients. So they're putting vitamins on top of crap, basically, you know. So JJ says, get your booty to the polls is reserved for us only. Aboriginal woman, how you doing? Says, from what I hear, she knows a lot about bending over. Y'all better leave Kamala alone. Leave that good woman alone.
Okay? Hey, sometimes your reputation precedes you. I mean, it is what it is. It's politics. You got to do what you got to do. Get to the top. Keep rising to the top.
Hey, you know what I say? Listen, y'all ain't got to listen to me. And don't blame me. Like I said, I'm tired today. I got a lot going on. But damn it, ladies, don't give it away for free. If you're going to give it away, be able to stand in the Oval Office. You know what I'm saying? Shake what your mama gave you. Use what
not at the bail bondsman. If you have to stand at the bail bondsman, you got the wrong guy.
I'm just saying, the bucket that you give it away for buckets of chicken, ladies. That's not that's out of style. You know, for Happy Meals, out of style. If you're gonna do it, sell it to the highest bidder. I'm just saying. I'm very serious.
Yes, Demitra, whatever happened to the Black and Brown Coalition? Whatever happened to it? What happened?
Did we have one? Maybe that was before my time. I don't know. Thunder says, DK, will you or Donovan show the election results on Super Tuesday? The results will be in around 8 p.m. Donovan, if you could, at 8 p.m. So that's Central Time. We ain't gonna be on here that long, brother. I don't know how much I got left in me. But maybe we'll talk about it tomorrow. I don't know.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it tomorrow, but yeah, it's gonna be kind of late. Like I said, 8 p.m. That's 4 hours away.
For you, but for me, it's a hour and a half away. And I plan to get off of here at 7 o'clock. We gonna see. Valerie, how you doing? Says, yeah, they've been using the black vote for everyone but Black Americans. That's what they do. Michael said, Dimitri, your point is valid. Producing babies, however, you're incorrect that Planned Parenthood promotes abortion. Congress forbids Planned Parenthood from performing abortion. If it is, it must be something new. Must be something new. I don't know. Oh, yeah. There was some sort of ruling or something like that not too long ago. I don't know. JB1, if I didn't already, how you doing? You say, I'm currently watching you guys from my living room, sitting on my couch, the exact place I will be on election day. No tangibles, no vote 2024, 26, or 28. Well, damn.
And real quick, I know we got to get to the comments, but I want you guys to notice something. Have you guys noticed that the Democrats, even though they don't listen to new black media, they have been on a youth spurt? Nancy Pelosi has stepped down from leadership. Notice when they lose, they give the leadership to the black people, whatever. Like, we lost, so you guys can have it. Jim Clyburn is stepping down. Sheila Jackson Lee is trying to be replaced by a younger woman. But they don't listen to us. Well, we don't need no term limits and all this other stuff. Have you guys noticed that as well too? That they are trying to pivot and saying, hey, we've been in there a little too long, and maybe we are out of date and out of fashion.
Beverly, if I didn't say to you hello, and thank you so much for asking people to hit the like button. I love and appreciate you for that. Yeah, golly, y'all almost out of here. I bet you see more dream about going up to glory than you have in the past, you know? And you're just not talking about you stepping down from the leadership role. Why now? Why not just stay until you die? You know what I mean? You done stayed there your whole life. Yeah, and keeping things horrible for everybody else after you. And now you're gonna step. You ain't stepping down from Congress. You're stepping down from a leadership role, and Jim Clyburn stepping down so he can run around the country with another dude that's just as old as he is. I think Biden is older than him. I mean, no, he's older than Biden. So you're gonna I don't even have the energy to do this show for another 45 minutes, let alone run around the country campaigning. Oh, for Joe Biden, you gotta make sure democracy is in danger. And guess what? We got some hot fish piping for you right now.
He's always talking to his daughters. My daughters told me, my grandkids told me. I'm convinced that somehow my daughters told me they got the pulse of the nation. But for all you guys that take cruises, because I know a lot of you guys from back east, you guys love going on cruises. The only cruise I've ever been on was a Navy ship. I'm sorry. What is one of the rules when a ship goes down? What is the first thing that tries to leave the ship, Demitra?
The first thing that leaves the ship?
When the ship is going down. Or about to go down. It's like a sense. It's about to go down.
My black ass?
Well, right. But in naval history, animals have a sense of when something's going to go. Rats are the first to leave the ship. Isn't it funny how all of these old retreads are starting to step down from leadership positions and stuff? To me, that's sending a signal right there that they know they're going to lose in November. They see it. They're just playing this game of, hey, they're hoping, everybody will fall for it. Like, oh, there's brighter tomorrow. No, they're trying to save their legacies. And like, hey, I wasn't in leadership when, the Democratic Party got annihilated. It's somebody else's fault. You know what I mean? So that's what I think is happening. It's the rats leaving the ship.
Yeah, exactly. Corey, have some class. If you're going to sell it down, be able to have some bragging rights. I sure did. You'll be surprised what I was doing, for that seat in the White House. The rest of y'all getting a ride up in the, a VW, but I'm riding with Biden. So
right. Omarosa rode it all the way to the White House, taking pictures for her wedding day, all that stuff.
Yeah, October, how you doing? Common Man says, but we did it now. Look at rap today. The radio stations refuse to play our new sound. I mean, have you heard some of that stuff? It's horrible. Michael said it's called the Hyde Amendment. Okay. Easy says Jim can attend the fish fries. Nah, he ain't, because he's gonna be running around with Biden. They gonna be running around the country, the two old grumpy old men. That's what the name of the campaign is. Two grumpy old men.
Yet to challenge young people to tell me that Joe Biden can't do the job. Just tell me Joe Biden can't do the job. Pass me the fish fry. He always looks pissed off. Have you guys noticed that? He always looks pissed off. Yeah, he just that look on his face.
Like, I hate y'all. Now, like Uncle Ruckus, what do you say? Your N-word essence in the air. Pamela says they ain't going nowhere. They're in the background working with their master. Yeah, they're not going nowhere. We just stepping down right now.
Nancy Pelosi is the biggest corporate fundraiser, donator in the party. And so, yeah, they're not letting her go away. She's still raising that money from the corporation. And here's a funny thing. Even Donald Trump said this. He gave up the game. He donates to both sides. What do you think these corporations are doing? They're donating to both sides. They're going to win no matter who gets in that office. But who suffers? We do.
Absolutely. Dante said they're leaving because those butter biscuits are drying up. Mm-hmm. You also say Jim Clyburn's leaving. That means Greg Marcel Dixon should be in. Now, he ain't leaving Congress. He just leaving his leadership role in the House because he's going to run around the country with Joe and them trying to get him elected. As if anybody outside of South Carolina going to listen to Jim Clyburn.
Right. And then, for him to win re-election, obviously all it takes is a fish fry for those South Carolinian black people to vote for him. That's all it takes. And if you've been to South Carolina, it's a shithole.
I ain't been there, so I can't testify to that. Gina, how you doing? Says yes, and hiring the first black this or the first black that doesn't do anything for us either. Yeah, but you know, we run around and hollering and screaming about that. Ooh, child, she the first black this, that, the other, which is how they got a Tiffany Henyard. You know, the city girl mayor, Nino Brown's sister, daughter, whoever she may be, running amok. Everything. So Thunder, you say rats. I said me. Ruth Tracker, how you doing? Says greetings, sister Demitra and Donovan. I voted yesterday. I had to change parties to write in my choice.
Exactly. Yeah, I voted absentee. Did you get the sticker? Are you wearing the sticker? Because guess what, you guys? After today, you're going to see all on your timelines and your social media. I voted. That's all the Democratic Party is going to give you is a sticker. If you vote for him, a sticker. Yeah,
I've seen some people doing it, and I just got right off. Oh, by the way, how did y'all feel about that? Facebook and Instagram logging you off and shutting down. Sounds like a lot of people were panicked. I'm like, well, you know, maybe it's for the best. I don't know. You know, Alonzo says they serve Massa well. Old Jimbo going to easy duty by Massa's side. Yeah, like Steven on Django. You know, I was here, Massa. Whatever you need, I was gonna be here.
I loves you. I loves you.
And Silent Wayne says, buy them. Damn. Clyde, but their ilk needs to find the closest nursing home. And this is coming from a near 80-year-old. Yeah, I mean, I said the same thing. You know, Shady Pines got a nice little room with a view for both of them, you know, and just sit it out and just, you know, relax. There's nothing wrong with that. We all going to Shady Pines one day. You know what I mean?
But in this world, in this life, are we supposed to work until we're dead? Is that I just never saw it that way.
That's the way it's set up. It's set up that way now. You know, people are working until they die. Back in the day, people could retire and say, okay, I worked, gave it a good 30 years. You know, now I'm about to sit home and go fishing, travel in an RV. And now you like, damn, maybe by the time I'm 93, I'll be able to relax. Because it's just almost impossible to retire nowadays. Especially if you're not investing, and even that's risky, and it's just a lot going on. You know, people retiring nowadays, your dollar ain't gonna stretch like it used to when you could retire. You know, there's a lot of people who are retirement age still paying a mortgage. So, and that's sad. Thunder says Ruth Brown song. If I can sell it, I'm gonna sit. If I can't sell it, I'm gonna sit back down on it. I don't feel the need to give it away. You know what I'm saying? That Ruth Brown was on to something. She was spitting. She said a word. Steven says, you told the truth. Look at the rats hauling ass. You crazy. Juggernaut says, remember them times of Joe Obama and old Biden? That's funny. Pam says, I'm going to hold a mirror up so Clyburn can see how mean he looks. He don't care.
Real quick, is Emmanuel still in the chat? Is he going to come up? What's going on with that?
I don't think he is. I think he's hiding in the shadows, and that's fine. Sidelong says, regardless of any study, Black First FBA will be lied on, and attempts to advise will be foremost. JB, one you say, they're all bought and paid for both sides. Yep. And Thunder says, oh, Jim is going to be driving Miss Daisy with his old. They both need their licenses revoked. Should not be driving nowhere. And hey, Frank, how you doing? And Dose says, I live in Columbia, South Carolina, and I don't go to the fish fry. You know what? I would go just to see what it's like, see what they saying, and, you know, go from there. But I think it would be really interesting. Common Man says, however, I still push rap because we created it. It's just going through changes, but we created it. Absolutely. Especially time you have these young people talking about what you know about hip hop. It's like if you don't set your wet behind the ear self down somewhere, our generation created hip hop. Okay, y'all just messing it up in the process. But yeah. More threads. How you doing? Says I'm from South Carolina, and a lot of people here are not happy with Clyburn. He just pays people off. Donovan, you must not have been to the certain parts, Charleston and Hilton, but with stolen black land is nice. Talking about the Gullah Geechee land, huh?
Yeah. No, you know, when I said that, I meant his district. I didn't mean South Carolina itself, but I used to love to fly into Charleston Air Force Base. And oh my God, Hilton Head near Beaufort. Oh my God, beautiful area, good golfing. I mean, just the those little islands off of Beaufort and stuff where the slave islands were and stuff. Oh man, beautiful place. Very, very friendly people. Some fine sisters, by the way. Go ahead.
You know what? Donovan gonna find the fine sisters everywhere. Everywhere he goes, he gonna find, search and seek out the fine sisters.
I love them. I can't help it. I love them.
We know, Donovan. We know. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I'll just read y'all comments. Sister Shirley says 30 years ago, my apartment was $92,000. Today is worth $435,000. Yeah, my first apartment I rented, it was like $325, 1 bedroom. You know, it had a living room and all that stuff. $325, and I was able to take care of that in my car note and my daughter on $9 an hour. Back in the day, with that inflation, boy, I tell you. But rent was $325, and I was like, "Geez, am I gonna make my rent this month?" I'm just kidding. I never was behind on my rent, but yeah, a 1 bedroom apartment anywhere nowadays is what, at least $1,000, $1,100, or wherever. You know, God forbid.
Wait a minute, Demitra, stop it. Stop the cap. Is that what the kids say? Stop the cap.
Yeah,
Stop the cap. You took some of that rent money, got your nails done, got your hair done. You know, everything but paying the rent. So come on, be real, because that's what a lot of the young girls are doing nowadays. They would rather keep their looks up versus paying that rent. What do you think?
I don't know what them young girls are doing, but they can't come live with me. You run around looking cute, you know, flousy and fly and all of that. You ain't paid your rent. I don't know what to tell you. You better go to Kamala Harris's school of how to sell it to the highest bidder or something. I don't know, you know.
But I remember they were getting PPP loans and rent assistance during the pandemic. And yet, when time to come to pay the piper, didn't have to pay rent for a year, even though they should have. Now they got evicted. Now, you know, it's everybody else's fault. Somebody needs to bail them out. And wait, and think about this. Even after doing all that stupidness, the Democrats don't even want to bail out the backbone of the Democratic Party, the Black woman. All these women facing eviction in their families, and the Democratic Party isn't even extending money to help these young families.
$1,500 at least, easy for a 1 bedroom apartment, and sometimes it ain't even in the best neighborhood, you know. Michael, you said, Demitra and Donovan, I'm sure both of you noticed that I kind of sound like Bill Clinton co-opting some of your issues while implementing cash reparations for FBADOS. I mean, I ain't never heard Bill Clinton talk about no damn reparations for nobody. Where is Bill Clinton? Is he still with us?
Yeah, he's still with us. As a matter of fact, they rolled him out like a couple of weeks ago doing something, and he was kind of basically upping Biden and, you know, some of his policies in regards to what he did with the crime bill and Biden writing the crime bill. And even Bill Clinton said it was a mistake. He should not have signed that bill.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I didn't even know Bill Clinton was still hot and popping. I ain't heard nothing else about him. Last time I heard about him was at Epstein Island, which is probably why he's like, I refuse to speak. I did not inhale. I did not have sexual intercourse with that woman.
Hey, but at least he apologized for slavery. He didn't cut a check, but he apologized.
Right.
Because that's what Black people want. All we want is an apology, Jonathan Capers.
Yeah, Jonathan Capehart, he need to... He don't speak for us. Corey said, stop giving up the goods for a chicken sandwich. That's what I'm saying. Come on, you know? Up the ante or something. Like, that's all you want. Listen, I've always been taught, you know, romance without the finance, you know. Back in the day, women had expectations.
Nothing going on but the rent. You got to have a J-O-B if you want to be. Y'all used to eat that shit up.
Right, mamas. That's right, sucker.
Bill collector at my door.
Right. And you want to lay with me for free? Let me shut up, because we're going to go way off in the left field, and I ain't trying to, I don't know if I'll be able to come back.
Yes, real quick. International news. Haiti You guys haven't heard, if you haven't checked it out, in the African diaspora. How do I know this? Because I have the African Diaspora News app. Haiti, the gangs have pretty much taken over almost all of Port-au-Prince. They recently released about 3,200 prisoners out of the capital. The appointed president will not step down, and he's in an African country over there trying to get the security forces to come in and all this other stuff. Very, very important stuff. Like I said, I know some people don't care about Haiti, whatever the deal is, but what happens to them happens to us. Please be advised at what is going on in Haiti. So for those of my brothers that have your passports, this is very important for us, because if that foolishness spills over into the Dominican Republic, the prices might go up, might go down, or they might lock the place down completely. So let's keep our eye on what's going on in Hispaniola.
That's all you worried about, is them gangs getting over to the DR messing up what you got going on? I think you got bigger fish to fry than that, okay? Yeah, I saw that. I was like, damn, they let all them people out of jail. Oh, I wouldn't want to be in Haiti right now. I was looking for some flights earlier, and it said, basically, hello, if you're trying to travel to Haiti, you might not want to do that right now, because of all that's going on. But again, if you really go back in the history, whose fault is it that Haiti is running the way it is? Michael, hello, Michael, you there?
Yeah.
The twins.
Right. United States, and of course the European countries, France especially, that did not forgive their debt. They paid 3 times what they actually owed France.
You say you saw the barge in the 5th Ward, and you didn't call me?
Demitra would have been on the 10 on her way.
Where about in the 5th Ward was he? I need to know. I need to be hanging out there more often. If he's hanging out in the 5th, he's actually going to be here on my birthday, but I'm not going to be here on my birthday. Every single time I have an opportunity to see I'm somewhere else. So I just kind of feel like, as fate would have it, we're going to meet somewhere or something like that. Was he in the 5th Ward today? Do tell. Let's see here. And Anita says you can't apologize properly without a check in your hand. Yeah, we don't want your funky apology. And Damon says, yeah, Haiti is off the hook trying to take over the airport. Yeah, they gonna need to do something, because it's off the chain. And I feel sorry for the people who are law-abiding citizens there in Haiti. It's already bad for them, but now it's gonna be worse. It's crazy. And Perry says, I was raised in Orangeburg. He says, that makes us homies. My sister lives in Columbia. I'm in Virginia. All right now. And a comment says, when I own my business, I never paid anyone $9. That always started at $11 an hour because of the economy at the time. There was no way they could live on that. This was like 94 when I was making $9 an hour. So that was decent. Then I actually was part-time at Frito-Lay, and then I got hired on full-time, and I made, significantly more money there. So it just kind of worked out. You know what I mean? Said, speaking of that, since they closed down the Blade here in Houston, 2 more had popped up down. Not the Blade being closed up. The Blade. And Fishing with Rick says Haitians can't get food or essentials even before all of this, but they can get weapons galore. America, CIA at best. Yeah, that's a damn good synopsis. Edwin, how you doing? It says the Kenyan president is sending police forces to Haiti. This will fail. Yeah, it's like America needs an answer for that. They helped destabilize Haiti as much as anybody, probably if not more, so they need the answer for that. Y'all let the country in ruins like that. So,
and here's the funny thing, based on what's going on in Haiti, who has more of a valid request for asylum for humanitarian reasons? Haitians. But yet the Biden administration, a Democratic administration, is sending back most Black Haitians.
Yeah, we saw that here in Texas. When they came over here, they got on those horses with the whips and the lassos and rounded them up and sent them right on back, talking about we ain't got the resources. How is it that you didn't have the resources 2 years ago, but you got the resources now for everybody else coming over here?
Right. Right now, with Eric Adams doing the flights with ICE and stuff, most of the people that are on those flights are of Haitian descent that they're sending back. They're picking out the Black skinned people and sending them back to their home country. This is Democratic policy.
Right. Pamela says that's what happens in Venezuela. They let all the worst criminals out and told them if they don't got the United States, they'd have to stay in prison. So what's up with that? Yeah, so they all up over here causing ruckus. I saw where they said, I think it was a 15-year-old Venezuelan boy committed a crime, and he going to the clinic and he was screaming and crying and hollering and stuff like.
And they're actually charging him as an adult.
What did you think was going to happen? Did he murder somebody or something like that, or what did you think was going to happen?
He murdered somebody and shot into a crowd.
Yeah, what did you think was going to happen to you? It's all fun and games until you got to go to prison. That's crazy. Valor says maybe they will get rid of some of that voodoo in Haiti. Oh, wow. Michael says, Demitra. He says, Demitra Donovan, here is a way to strengthen Black-owned businesses, Black only, and no other race. Yeah. Dr. Claude Anderson says, buy Black and sell to everyone. That's how you do it. That's what everybody else does, right? And Alonzo, how you doing, by the way? Says all administrations expedited Haitians expulsions. Yep, Lady Diana, what's going on with you? Says, in 1995, I went to Alabama to drop my daughter off at college, but I just couldn't leave her. So I got a nice apartment in Saraland paying $400 a month, and my salary was $14 an hour. I was living large. Yeah, back then, inflation was kind of still keeping up with the wages and stuff like that. But now, $14 an hour, you can't survive nowhere with that. And if you do, it's probably very, very subpar living conditions, and that no one should have to live like that. And that's what a full-time job. So they need to, raise the wages. And Sister Shirley says U.S. is collecting the dreads of society. And the silent one says their evil plans boomeranging again. Brother Don says a Brazilian student was killed by his shooting at loss prevention. Oh, wow. So you're talking about with the 15-year-old? Buckhorse says Title 16 adult charge. Whew. And Black American Homeland, how you doing? So you put a link up. Let's see. I don't know exactly what it is because I can't click it, but maybe I'll go back and see what it is. And a silent one says, our people have hard time supporting BGR. What's BGR? Because that can mean a whole host of things. Anyway, Donovan, any results come back in? I know it's 7 o'clock, so I don't. The polls close here at 8. So the polls are still open, huh?
Yeah, the polls are still open here. Like I said, and I'm pretty much concentrated on the California primary right now because, like I said, I already know who's going to be in the national election. When that comes down, it's going to be Biden and Trump. So looking for everybody else doesn't really matter.
And Mikey says, listen, you have some people who are still bringing home $600 to $900 paychecks with rent being $1,350 and up. He says, now who could survive on that anywhere in the U.S.?
See, now Mike brings up a good point. Legislators could make laws to cap the rent if they wanted to. They could make these laws to cap the rent where it's affordable. What about the laws to stop these banks from buying these home areas and making money off of that? That should be outlawed because the banks are buying these properties and the rent is so high that nobody's occupying it. But now the migrants are occupying it because your tax dollars are going to pay the rent. That's what's going to be happening there. But that's what I'm saying. They should make laws where this should not happen. How can an entity that can't actually move into a house buy a house? It's crazy. But then again, we don't hold these legislators accountable for what they're doing.
Right. Alonzo says $14 an hour is almost double the wage in Clyburn's district. Terribly poor. Damn. Mike, you say I work 2 jobs because I am one of those folks that enjoy his privacy, peace of mind. I don't like living under nobody else's house rules. I'm with you on that one. I totally agree with you. And Edward, if I didn't already, how you doing? Fishing with Ricky says, Donovan, if you get a chance, please look into free airfare for migrants. If true, maybe we can we can chat about it on the next show. Yep, or maybe
absolutely. I'm gonna try to get in on that if that's true. Me no English, me for them. I'm just a dark like Venezuelan. I don't know, because right now I think they could cut the line at TSA and stuff and without no ID. Okay, as an American, how come I have to go stand in this line and have ID and all passport, all this other stuff to fly, but these people don't? How does that work?
Yeah, me speaking no English. Okay, more threads. You say, do you guys think the economy will get a little better if Biden is pushed out? He really needs to go. Then putting him out here with cognitive decline is elderly abuse, and the economy is terrible.
Yes, absolutely. The economy will get a bounce. I'm not saying it's going to, recover in, leaps and bounds, but it will recover because Biden being or Trump being a developer and a kind of a corrupted developer, business is open. Business is going to be good, and the investments are going to come in. People are going to come in and start doing all that stuff. So there is going to be a bounce.
Yeah, I think so. And the silent one says, are these methods of suppression against FBA have been in the plan since the 1700s. Good point.
Yes, but who implemented the Jim Crow laws? I just want you guys to answer that question. Ask yourself that question. In the South, where Demitra is right now, Jim Crow laws were implemented primarily. We know it was done in the North as well, but primarily it was done after the Civil War by Nathan Bedford Forrest and the Ku Klux Klan that reinstituted white power in these state houses in the South. So also during that time, the Democratic Party was reinstituted along when all the stuff was going on. So once again, the Democratic Party is complicit in the conditions that Black people are in right now.
Right. So anyway, y'all make very great points. And Jay, he says how you doing, by the way? He says the Democrats implemented Jim Crow laws. Yes, indeed. So listen, we are going to get out of here because your girl is tired. I went running yesterday. I didn't plan on going running. Okay, let me tell you. I got to tell you, it's story time, okay? My daughter says, we're going to go running. She goes out and buys her some tennis shoes. And I'm like, I got some shoes. If you seriously want to go running, then I'll go invest in some shoes. The one thing I will pay a little bit of money for is running shoes because, you can mess up your knees and your feet, your legs and all that if you don't put a little bit of money in shoes. So I like the New Balance in shoes. Nevertheless, she went and got the New Balances. She's like, yeah, we're going to go running. We're going to get out there. And I'm like, great, because I like to run, right? Like, I'm a runner. We ain't ran yet. Every day, I'm like, we're going to run today. Well, what happened was, So yesterday we get out there. I said, okay, well, let's just go walking. We're walking. And I like to walk fast. And I just start running. Well, it was more like a jog than anything. And I tell you, I was busting a sweat. It was hot out there. I was like, yeah, I need to get out there and do this more often. So that's kind of why I'm a little tired today, I think. Plus, I've been working all day. And I'm going to see my daddy on Thursday in Los Angeles for his 80th birthday. My daddy is going to be 80. So I'm going to spend a day with him, just hanging out and all of that. And then I'll be back here on Sunday, to work and all of that. So I just got a lot going on, but it's all good.
Yes, yeah, Demitra, look, we know it gets tired dragging that wagon, that natural BBL that you have. I mean, there's a lot of weight back there.
And I'm trying to get a little of that weight off me too. Hey, fat son, how you doing? Yeah, so I don't know. And the time is changing on Sunday. So we're going to lose an hour. So fall back, spring forward. So when we spring forward, that means we're losing an hour of sleep. Oh, I can't afford to lose no more sleep. I'm getting old. And Jay, you say Booker T. Washington. I can't sleep on the plane, and I'm flying Spirit.
And by the way, Spirit is one of the only airlines that goes into Port-au-Prince.
And that's why I was looking on there, and they gave me that warning. Like, hello, don't go over there. You might not make it back. Okay? Spirit is with you until we drop you. Is Spirit even going to go over there? Jay says Booker T. Washington and Black Americans did not challenge the racist immigration laws in the early 1900s to let illegals in. All right, that's good to know. But yeah, my daughter, she I don't know if she'll run. It's getting hot here though. The weather's changing. It's almost 90 degrees here.
Let me say this. And sometimes I look at some women. Some women are built where they can't really run. They kind of just shuffle or whatever, because you guys are kind of gifted. And I don't care how much you strap your breastises down. It's just a detriment to running. So I mean, for real. I mean, are you guys like really running, or are you guys just kind of like moving?
I can run.
Speed walk.
I can speed walk. I can run. I can jog. Now I'm just kind of jogging, but I can run. Donovan, I ran track. Come on now. Some things you just never lose. Now, of course, I don't run as fast. One day I'm gonna take a video of me sprinting so y'all can see that I still got it. Listen, being old is in your mind.
The form is there. She still got the form.
Yep, running with the blades. Feel like the Bionic Woman. I hear the music. Dun 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 dun. When I'm running, right? That's in my mind. But when y'all see me, it's probably like like that little turtle. It's running.
I think it's more of.
Oh no, you die. Right. Like a pimp walk,
The walker. You're shuffling the walker.
Yeah. You know what? Next time, if I feel all right, I might take a video tomorrow of me. I ain't sprinting in a while. I might need to work up for that. I still got it. Don't sleep on me, okay? Nevertheless, I've said too much here. Lynette, how you doing? He said B1, Montgomery, Alabama. Who else came on here? And Damon says, please do that video. I will do it. I'm gonna do it of me sprinting. God willing, I don't pull something. Last year, I hurt myself. I tripped over something at my dad's house, and my leg was messed up for like 8 months. I couldn't hardly do nothing, but it's good now. So we're gonna see. Miss Sweet Talker says, and did I say hello to you, by the way? If I didn't, forgive me. He says, I'm not running anywhere. I love to run. I'm just wild at heart, right? I don't have the sense that God gave a cricket. Most 52-year-old women just sit down. They look cute. All of that. Me, I ain't got there yet. Yes, y'all gonna have to pray for your girl. I love Spirit because Spirit is very cheap, but I'm telling you, the last time I rode Spirit, they almost took me out of here. Spirit almost took your girl out of here last time. Donovan?
Yes, before we go, you guys, look, we love having these great conversations, but if you run across somebody who is a lifelong Democrat, like I was, like, some of you guys were born Democrats, just ask them, what has the Democratic Party done in the last 60 years? Specifically. And that usually shuts them down, because notice Emmanuel got the hell up out of here when you just hit him with the straight logic.
I think he's still here. He lurking in the dark.
Yeah.
If you could catch me, then everything's negotiable.
Right. And again, he's always welcome to come on the show and spout their views. But the thing is, don't tell me what the Republicans ain't gonna do, because I haven't tried the Republicans yet. Or if you haven't tried them, you don't know what they're gonna do. But I've been with this party for over 60-something years, and I've got nothing. So again, definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result.
Yes, indeed. So anyway, we love and appreciate every last one of y'all dearly. We could not do this without you, and we would not do this without you. So in the meantime, we're going to be back tomorrow. I think we're supposed to be doing our relationship show, but I don't know anybody want to come on and talk about nothing. So if y'all want to come on, send me an email. I should have put the flyer up, but I love DK. So I love DEEKAYE at gmail.com. I'll put a flyer up on the community section maybe tonight or tomorrow. If y'all got something y'all want to talk about, you want to send me an anonymous email about relationships, you want to come on here and shoot your shot at somebody and say, hey, I'm available, and all that, we'll love to do it. But y'all wanted me to do the show. What's behind the booty? Y'all wanted the show, and I'm gonna try it out for a while and see how it happens, what happens. But if nothing happens, then we're going to switch it back to regular scheduled programming. I will give me some rest In the meantime, you guys, Dolly says, I asked one yesterday and she said Biden is so loving and humble and he do so much for this country. He's loving and humble like a cactus. But anyway, we're going to get out of here.
I'll be damned if my kids have to deal in that jungle.
Who, you stupid, who's Golden Richards? And I might be remiss in not knowing who that is. So a couple other people died today too as well. I can't remember who it was, but Reba, how you doing? Says competition is good. Anyway, we're going to get out of here. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.